Hey, it's Coach Taylor from SmarterTeamTraining.com, and I got a pretty excited group of people on the phone here, and I say group for a reason. If you go to LoadTheBar.com and check out the Pit Shark line of equipment, I think you're going to be pretty impressed. And I got to be honest, Rick and Janie, it took them a couple times here going back and forth. I've known them for a long time, but just getting people to share their passion, share their love for what they got going on in the field here is very important to me. And so I was persistent. I'm not gonna lie. I kept pounding Rick and giving Janie some emails every once in a while saying, "Hey, let's do this and get on the show here and just share what has worked for you and just to get an opportunity to share their passion and their love for the field." And Rick and Janie, they're both coming from a training aspect. I mean, if you get a chance to meet them at a conference, a clinic, a convention, just shoot them an email. I mean, they're very approachable. They're going to talk shop, and they're going to want to talk about training the body from a strength training, powerlifting, prepping you for football kind of personality. And I'm taking notes all the time. So, Rick and Janie, it's a pleasure to have you guys on the show. It's obviously my privilege to call you guys friends, and it's an honor to be talking to you today, guys.
Thanks, Rob. We really appreciate it, and it's great to be on here.
Nice to be on your show.
Rick and Janie, I know we're going to bounce back and forth so the listener doesn't get confused, and I don't care who actually takes questions. If I have a particular person in mind as far as it goes, I'll kind of direct it towards one of you. But to get this kind of started, I need one of you to tell me a little bit about the passion for the field. How did you get your business started? I mean, one of the unique things that you guys offer or got you guys started in the field here is the Pit Shark, the belt squat piece, which is unloading the spine, it's training the legs, and then it's morphed itself into we use it for front squats, the weighted push-up scenario, which has now evolved into even a new piece you guys got going on. But I want to start back from the nitty-gritty when you guys got started. I mean, where'd that passion come from, and can you tell me a little bit about what you got going on now as well?
Yeah, the Pit Shark really got designed out of necessity when, during our own training in our home gym, I was really looking for a piece of equipment that let me, use those type of weight-loaded movements, where the simplicity of it, where we could just hook up with a belt and do the weighted dips, chins, the belt squats. It just quickly became, the piece that we needed in our gym, and that's really where that original Pit Shark developed from. I wanted it for my own use.
Yeah, we actually looked around, online, tried to find some equipment that maybe would meet our needs, and just didn't come across anything. And we just had a moment there where we got to thinking about it, and Rick came up with the idea.
Yeah, it was, to be honest with you too, Robert, it was, I had thought back, quite a few years before that there was a piece of equipment that nobody had ever made that would make things a little bit easier to hook up, like when you're going to load up a bunch of weight on a belt. There should have always been, and I thought about it years before, but I was way too busy just working and surviving to actually stop and even think you could make a piece of equipment like this. But then, a few years later, I thought, I was telling Janie one night, I see this piece of equipment as if it's standing there, and it would help this part and this part of our training, to increase our strength. And, it only really took me a couple minutes describing it to Janie, and she actually said, I can actually see that piece of equipment that you're talking about. And, one thing led to another. She drew it the next day. We literally got started on that piece of equipment, and we have never looked back. And it has turned out almost exactly like I envisioned. We put it on paper, then put it to manufacturing, and it's become a really neat training station.
I think it's actually turned out better than we envisioned because of the multiple movements that when we first designed it, when Rick first designed it, we really weren't weren't even thinking about a lot of the different strength movements that are actually done on that original Pit Shark belt squat now, other than belt squats and dips and chins. There's so many other things, and so it really has turned into a very effective multifunctional piece that we didn't even envision that in the beginning.
If anyone's ever been to your booth, and I don't want to keep endorsing necessarily the business, but I want to make sure we address the people that are there. If people are going to your booth and getting a chance to hang out with you, people are staying there for 2 hours sometimes just talking shop with you guys about what has worked for them, or what do they see, or what kind of tweaks can be done, or how they're using it in their own facility. I mean, I've stood there firsthand and watched and listened to how people address you guys and just ask questions about what you guys got going on, because it's so unique. I'll even talk. We didn't even discuss the weighted pull-up that you guys have going on with the tall rack, and I want to get down to the other pieces you got going on in a little bit. But how often does user feedback or that feedback from the guy that's actually in the trenches or lady that's in the trenches, how does that help your redesign or even the evolution of your product, especially about what you guys got coming out?
Push-ups was one that comes to mind for me.
That's good.
That was someone that had a Pit Shark, used it, and
he asked me. Yeah. He asked me if I ever done a push-up on the original tall frame Pit Shark, and I was like, what do you mean a push-up? And then that's when he described to me how he wasn't a real big fan of bench press for athletes, and I could go into that. What the laying on your back, pressing weight up off of you. He said it's not as effective as a push-up to him for football players. But then he went on to describe to me how he did it, and then I was like, man, that's not good enough. You got to take me over, because his Pit Shark was in a different facility. So we went over there, and he showed me how he elevated his feet, and he put the handles in, but he pulled the belt up under his. Like instead of around his waist, he just pulled it up as high as he could around his back, his chest, got into that push-up position, and I was blown away, because really, if I hadn't stumbled onto this coach, he was just using it because he said it was one of his favorite upper body moves on there, and that he wasn't a fan of bench. So that, and if I can only tell you what that's turned into, because we've actually, and I'll wait on this, but we've designed the Pit Shark push-up machine now that was based on, what that movement has turned into, which is extreme. I mean, it's an extreme improvement to our training philosophy, and then the one movement that was so hard to set up for, we're doing that now really simple. But that came from a coach that was, a strength coach in a football program. That's one of the neatest things we've discovered. But
another one I can think of also is that the hook that elevates where you hook up to the weight load on the Pit Shark belt squat. It originally was just picked up off the floor, and that really builds flexibility. But they were asking for something to elevate that, especially if you have, let's say, an injured athlete and somebody that's not going to be able to squat all the way to the floor to hook up. So that comes from some feedback from a strength coach. So yeah, we definitely love to get feedback and definitely take it into account when we do.
I will point out on with the Pit Shark, my first vision of one of the most important parts when we were just putting this on paper was that no matter how short or how tall an athlete was or their strength level, that they could adjust the handles so that they could go as heavy as they wanted. And when they're finished with a strength movement, like a dip or a chin, I'll just use those first, that when they finish the movement to failure, they literally just put their feet down and that they are on the platform. And then a chin, and we did get some neat feedback from coaches, but when you're using strong athletes, their body weight's not enough. So that the fact of our chin bars being lowered to where they can go to maximum whatever they want, maximum rep, maximum weight, when they're finished, they put their feet down. People don't have to drop to the floor or drop down on boxes, or you don't have to build boxes up to where they're at. And that was a whole lot of, I seen the safety in this, before we ever built the first one.
I want to talk to you guys as a practitioner, as a coach in the trenches with me. I mean, that's the conversation you guys and I have had many times now has been a lot about what's going on the floor when we're training athletes. Not necessarily X's and O's and program design and that type of stuff, but how we're trying to keep kids safe, how we're trying to enhance our client's experience, and how we're trying to get greatness out of each individual we get a chance to touch. I mean, can you do me a favor and walk me through some of the basic guidelines or even techniques? I don't care if we use the belt squat, the pitch shark belt squats on the diff, the press, or the pull-ups, or even the new pieces with the roll and pull and the new weighted push-up. I don't care which one we go through. But are there some basic guidelines that I need to be aware of, maybe some safety precautions that you think are enhanced by using your pieces of equipment? I mean, one thing that I do enjoy is we can squat people very heavy. We can take them to failure. There's no loading on the spine. And the cool part about it, when people get off, they want to do another set. And I want to know about your opinion and your feedback and how you guys are actually using it. If I had a chance to come down to train with you guys, how do you start me on a piece with a new person? And then what are you doing with people who have a little bit more of a veteran status in the training world?
The bell squat is such a favorite movement by everybody. I mean, I hear this so often that they love it, even though I let them get through all the belt squat stuff and then we go into other things. That belt squat, I could tell you even in a little story, because I just visited a place not too long ago where it's kind of funny how you take and you teach people. I guess they learn from balance with putting a bar on their back, and most of us did. And it's funny to me to watch the people that they kind of get this unit for at first. They think that, well, this belt squat's going to be good for my injured players. But it suddenly rolls over to, I guess it's after the coach or somebody else gets on there and realizes the benefit to the deloading, and that how it makes a guy that's used to having the bar on his back balanced, that seemed to be their big squatter, they discover a weakness in maybe his balance now because he doesn't have the bar on his back. And I discover that all the time with people I train. And I think the huge confidence that sometimes the people that can't squat get when they get on there, or the discovery that people that can squat, but now all of a sudden they realize they have to do it without the balance of the bar on their back, that might be a really cool discovery.
Yeah, it's just, if you stand on the floor and you squat down, and that in proper technique, like to do a squat, that's exactly what it is when you step up on that platform and hook up with that belt to the pitch shark belt squat. It's that belt is not holding you in. It's just a good squat form. It's almost like a squat teacher, especially if you have the harness on.
It corrects your form.
Yeah, it does. It corrects the form.
It's like self-correcting. Even, and I know you mentioned, Robert, like the front squats, which are one of our favorites and really become favorites of a lot of coaches when I'm traveling around. They mention that front squat, and it's another one. It engages the back, but in a different way than having the back compressed with the bar on it. And it's one of our favorite movements also. But I think that the huge value of, if you have a guy that, or girl, any athlete, that they can take advantage of maybe even learning how to squat proper the first time, even by just lightly holding on to the squat handles, or if they're rehabbing, really hold on. And it gives you the ability to not maybe just over minor injuries or technique problems, that they don't have to detrain and then maybe go over to something that's really not a squat movement. And it's going to allow you to squat people, whether they're even, a good squatter or not, but you could almost teach them there. And I've noticed myself, some of the poorest squatters that I've actually worked with, we correct them from almost their very first set. It starts to correct them, and I know there's confidence, the deloading, and they don't really think about being pinned under the weight like you would be in a rack and a bar squat, because the weight's always underneath them, and they can always fail at the bottom and just squat down a little lower and unhook the weight, and there's a confidence there.
Yeah, the confidence where the weight is, and this is basically our concept here, the weight is always under you. The same thing you could be said about the Pit Shark weighted push-up, with the weight under you. Just the confidence from that. And likewise, we've seen people that maybe were the biggest benchers in the gym. When you flip that over and put them on that push-up, the weighted push-up, it can instantly show weaknesses, say in their stabilizer muscles and areas that maybe they were the biggest bench presser, but weaknesses in their core. When you flip it over and put them on a push-up, it immediately can expose those things.
It exposes that they haven't maybe trained certain back movements that allow them, they might be a 500-pound bench presser and slightly over body weight, weighted push-up. That's one of our, and sometimes I hate to apologize for something, but we really do track heavy to the belt squat and the weighted push-up, because the weighted push-up is such a huge part of our training now that we only use bench press. And I've been talking to a lot of good coaches out there now that I've got to even try out what we're doing, but we only use bench press for a test. Just that are all these premium movements that we're doing, are they benefiting to that one movement that people want to go back and test? Even though I was a competitor in bench press many years ago, I'm far more impressed with the quick, as long as it's quick and safe. I couldn't use a push-up too often before because we were too strong. We had to have bands pulled across our back in a rack. Somebody stuck weight plates on us. But now that we get to use it routinely in our workout, because it's, it takes you 1 second to hook up and unhook, it's become one of those, we can't quit talking about it because of the positive strength gains that everybody's making. I don't care if they're one of my best bench pressers or one of the weakest. Everybody's making gains there, and it translates over to their, let's just say, their personal best totals on a bench press. So I'm so fired up about that, and I talk about that just about everywhere I go.
I enjoy getting the opportunity to talk to the CEOs and the presidents of organizations all the time, and some of them have been on the radio show here, and actually getting a chance to talk to you two guys. I feel like it's 100% to get two double CEO type things, so I'm getting a chance to talk to the boss and the boss at the same time. How did you go from a belt squat type concept, as you've already told the story in your head, you saw the picture, and then you start identifying that there's a need to be addressed within that same technology that you guys have developed into extra pieces? I mean, how did you identify what the next big thing for your brand was?
Almost because there was too many things that was movements, too many very important, effective strength movements that were being done on the Pit Shark belt squat. And we had been in some facilities where, and they do multiples of the belt squat, and you could just see the need to maybe pull a couple of those movements out and put it at a different station. We had stories of, people standing in line waiting to get on the Pit Shark belt squat. And, and when you have a different station already set up, wow, that's really quick to run a whole group of athletes through. So we just basically thought of pulling a couple of the movements out and doing a piece specific to that movement. Though on those pieces also, like the Pit Shark weighted push-up and the Pit Shark row and pull, other things can be done on those too. They're basically very multifunctional also, but they're set up like the Pit Shark weighted push-up has the adjustable handles where it has 5 different widths. It has 3 different grips, your parallel, your standard, and an angled. And so it's set up very specifically with elevated platform for your feet and all the nice things that you would want, you know, in a station set up for a weighted push-up. And that movement was taken right out of the...
We made it a premium.
Yeah, we made it a premium package specific to that movement, which is a movement that can still be done on the Pit Shark Belt Squat too. But now this one is got all the adjustability that makes it really nice.
I only wish, Robert, I wish I would have filmed some of the ridiculous ways that we used to set up and do some of the, and I'll use the push-up again. I hit on this a minute ago, but we used to do some of the most ridiculous stuff to set up to get in a weighted push-up. And I know sometimes people might use for marketing or something when they wrap chains around their neck and things that are maybe a little bit more for appearance. But we used to have to stack weight plates on our back. We would pull so that we could have that constant tension from bands. We would put, you know, bands across our back. We looked ridiculous. And it didn't dawn on me then that something should be made to do that. We were already still doing that until a coach pointed out that, you know, with a little bit of just this and that, you know, bringing pile boxes over, just switching up a couple things on your Pit Shark, look what you can do with it. The premium that Janie talked about was we went past that because we realized, even on our own gym, people are wanting to use the Pit Shark for the belt squat or something else that they're maybe pulling on it. And we want to get in there and do the push-up. Well, you have to take, you know, and set it up for that. And when we really stopped and said, I'm going to make the Pit Shark push-up unit, we put everything in that so you don't do anything but set it up, and you don't bring your pile boxes from somewhere else. You don't have to stop using your Pit Shark for any of the other movements that it does. It's built in. And the adjustable handles, the safety built in, it's just the premium way, and there's nothing compares to being able to do that. When you incorporate that movement into your training, you know, people don't have to actually take my word for it, but it really, really changes because of the group muscles now that you use in that movement instead of the bench press for that movement always. It makes a huge difference. That's why that piece it's a must-have in our training.
Likewise, another movement that was really important too that we were doing on the Pit Shark Belt Squat was we have a flat rope platform that can be added onto it. And we took that movement out with the flat row, but made it specific again with all the nice things for that movement. We actually took that weight load apparatus that you hook up to and we split it. So you have right and left independently functioning arms that you can use single handles on or a straight bar, and it is very comparable to picking a bar up off the floor to do your rows, and then the bench could be removed and do pulling movements off the deck. So it's we took all the things that people were already doing in the original Pit Shark Belt Squat, and we took them and made them specific stations specific to that movement. And the Pit Shark flat row and pull, it has a bench for doing your rows, flat rows, a chest supported bench. The bench can be removed, and deadlifts and pulling movements, shrugs, those type of movements can easily be done. They can also be done on the original. So it was mainly just to take some of the many movements that were being done on one piece and make some different stations that were already set up to do those.
But again, then now it's a premium. It's a premium because of the things that you can switch up on it now with the single handles. I know a lot of guys
more options.
Yeah, and this one thing, just by changing out the handles, it turns it from, just like a deadlift. You can do a deadlift. You can do an RDL. You could do a pulling movement with shrugs in it. But when you switch over to the single handles, it actually kind of eliminates, because I had a guy asking me the other day, I'm not sure it's necessary to have a trap bar, because he was asking, well, I'm going to make a trap bar for it, but with the single handles, it kind of takes care of that, because you can stand between the handles, and just on that one piece of equipment, and those functioning independently, it gives you such a variety of movements that you really still can't do with the original Pit Shark, even though you can pull with it. But with that split apparatus, it gives you the freedom as if you're picking up 300-pound dumbbells in your hands. Now do what you want. You can even squat with the handles. So anyway, it's again, we just took that movement that everybody was already wanting to do. We gave them another station with a huge variety of movements there.
As you guys both know, I'm a big fan of education and making sure that I'm very well informed before I put any piece of equipment in the facility, before we put any client or athlete on a piece. And I'm a big fan of going out and checking out what other people are using. Anytime I get a chance to travel, I enjoy going and seeing different facilities. I think this year I've been upwards of 300 different facilities just this past year. And I just like popping in and seeing what people are doing, unannounced, and watching people and how they're doing it. As a product-based company, how important is educating the consumer so that they're aware of what your products can do? I mean, it's a great question to ask. I'm sure people who have owned Pit Sharks that are listening to this conversation are now even thinking about other ways they can use their tools because they're hearing it from you guys. Is there a way that we can do a better job of just educating the consumer in a much bigger and broader picture within the field?
I think it's very, very important to educate the consumer. And when someone does have a Pit Shark, there's a lot of, regardless of which piece it is, there's a lot of different movements that can be done on those. And you really want to get the word out of all the different strength movements that can be done so they can utilize their piece well. And probably the way we've had been most effective is through short training videos. We like to, just hands-on get out there, show the piece, show how we use it, show the function of it, and put the short videos. We utilize YouTube. We have our Facebook. We use email of training videos, and that's been very effective.
And they're never staged. Our videos are never staged. We don't edit them. It's usually if I've got a great movement going on and it's right in the middle of a workout, we just throw the video on it, grab it, no editing. Whether a guy fails with it, he gets what he's supposed to get. Anything we do. If Coach so-and-so from somewhere happens to call me and we're talking and he says, which I wouldn't name drop, but I've had coaches send me videos saying, Rick, show every coach that you can this movement I'm doing. If they don't see it in their Pit Shark, they'll love it that you showed them this movement. So the only time we might go out there and deliberately set up and show a movement is because Coach so-and-so called me, we talked, and he said, Rick, show all the coaches this movement. And then I'll give you a couple movements, but like that suspended front squat that we have so many people order that leather front squat strap. It's almost ridiculous. But a coach told me, show all the coaches this. They will love that they can hold the weight like this on your Pit Shark instead of like placing the bar like a conventional front squat. And that movement alone was one of them that he said, show everybody. We went out there, we made the video, and then honestly, I wasn't even set up and prepared because I think in 3 minutes, another coach emailed, I want a price on that strap. I was just using a store-bought strap that would never hold up to what we were showing, so I had to actually go make them because people started ordering them after we showed that movement. And that was really thanks to a coach that took the time to literally call me and say, show them this, show them this, show them this. They're going to love it. And he was right. I mean, I just did what he said. We made a video, showed it, and it took off. And that's how that, just for an example, that front squat, we call it a suspended front squat. But, what a great challenging movement, too. But that's where our education, where we're educating our customers or potential customers is we just show them things that are really working and things that we see, movements that we see as a value. And
it almost takes them a little bit of time to, I guess, digest all the different things that you can do on it. Like with the Pit Shark bell squat, that mainly is what grabs their interest. And then, they find out all these other things along the way. Rick and I are really very available, and, we can definitely, Rick loves to always discuss training and always glad to do that. So we do really have a lot of contact with our customers, too, and, they're definitely welcome to contact us for any questions they have or, just to talk some training. We like that.
Well, that's an easy lead into here. I mean, Janie, you kind of set me up for that one. It's pretty slick and pretty easy on my end. If someone wanted to go to, reach out to you, obviously they can go to loadthebar.com. They can go right there and find your email and the phone number and that type of thing. There's other social media plugs. But outside of that, is there any ways they can, reach out to you directly at events? Even when they're going to clinics, what are some things that you really want to see from them? And just, again, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, yeah, we love when they send us videos. We have people post them on our Facebook, Pit Shark Facebook. Videos, we really enjoy that. There's a lot of Pit Shark videos that have been posted on YouTube, and it's great. That's the thing. I mean, we can tell people all day long how much we enjoy training with our own equipment, but we really want them to hear it from everybody else, from the people out there using it. So those videos from the users, the people that are out there training with on the Pit Shark equipment, posting the videos, just dropping us an email at either rick@loadthebar.com or Janie@loadthebar.com, or just through the website. They can contact us also, loadthebar.com, and we'll definitely love to hear from them, love to see their videos, and they can definitely ask us any questions. We'd be glad to, talk training with them.
Well, again, guys, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day here. I know you guys are very busy. For the listeners, we were scheduled a couple of weeks ago, and their travel scheduled, actually going out and seeing how people are using their facility, how they actually bring the equipment to you at times, depending on where they are in their travel schedule. They've been to Baltimore. They've come firsthand here to drop a piece off for me, and actually went through the entire gamut. I mean, we must have spent, and I'm not trying to exaggerate, probably 4+ hours going over different exercises, answering questions, just talking training, man. And sometimes it's cool to get a chance to talk to someone who has invented it, who has put their passion, their blood, sweat, and tears into a creation that was in their mind, and then actually see it become a productive aspect of your training. And I know it's been a very good asset to what we got going on. I'm not trying to over-endorse or that type of thing for anybody that's listening to this, but if you're a squatter, if you're somebody who likes something that's alternative to your training methods, if you're looking to take your training to another level, if you're trying to add something that's a wow factor in your gym, whether it's the college or private sector, the pro guys, I've been to a bunch of them, and they are in those facilities. If you're claiming to be a pro-level type event or a facility and offering that type of service, and you don't have one of these in there, you might want to re-strategize your marketing material, because you're lying to yourself and you're lying to your customers, in my opinion. And anybody can email me, Coach Taylor at SmarterTeamTraining.com. I would be happy to put you in touch with Rick and Janie in a heartbeat. I will gladly show you how we use our tools here in a array of different programming for different people, from little guys. I mean, 9-10-year-olds all the way up into the big boys, getting the job done. So again, Rick and Janie, man, I don't know how much more I can do to help give you guys a platform here to share your story, but I appreciate you guys as friends, as colleagues in the field. Anytime I have a question, you guys are always more than welcome to get back to me in an instant. I mean, if you guys send Rick or Janie an email, expect a prompt response, man. They are very good about getting back to the people who are interested and reaching out to them and wanting to learn more about training in general and obviously their product line at loadthebar.com. Do me a favor, the listeners here, do your due diligence too. Check out their YouTube clips. Go on their Facebook. Shoot them an email. When you see them at a conference or clinic, I'm telling you, I can give you a list. Again, if someone wants to email me, a booth that you need to go to just talk to the people that are there. They're not going to be salesmen and try to give you a hard sell. You're going to gain value by going to their booth and just talking shop and meeting these two individuals. Again, Rick and Janie, man, it's great to call you guys friends. I look forward to keeping in touch. And as always, hopefully this is just another launching pad for us to do more things down the road.
We appreciate you having us on, too, Robert.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. We had fun. I enjoyed it.
Yep.